Second Esdras, chapter 13. And it came to pass, after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men, out of number, from the four winds of the heaven, to subdue the men that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which were prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Afterward, I saw the same man come down from the mountain, and call unto him another peaceable multitude. And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry. Some of them were bound, and some were brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awakened and said, Thou hast showed thy servant these wonders from the beginning, and hast counted me worthy that thou shouldest receive my prayer. Show me now yet the interpretation of this dream. For as I conceive in my understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days. And let me repeat verse 16. For as I conceive in mine understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind. For they that were not left were in heaviness. Now understand the things that are laid up in the latter days, which shall happen unto them, and to those that are left behind. Therefore are they come into great perils and many necessities, like as these dreams declare. Yet is it easier for him that is in danger to come into these things than to pass away as a cloud out of the world, and not to see the things that happen in the last days. And he answered unto me and said, and before I say that real quick, let's go back to verse 16. For as I conceive in my understanding, woe unto them that shall be left behind in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind. So that scripture, that verse right there, that squashes all of Christianity's whole rapture doctrine, bro. How does rapture doctrine line up with 2nd Esdras chapter 13 verses 16? Let me repeat. For as I conceive in mine understanding, woe unto them that shall be left behind in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind. I thought the ones that were not left behind, I thought the much more woe, according to y'all Christianity doctrine, the ones that are not left behind are the ones that receive the punishment. But no. Right here in 2nd Esdras chapter 13, it says, the ones that are not left behind, woe unto them. What does that mean? That means the ones that are taken somewhere else. There is no rapture. Nobody's going to be taken somewhere and disappeared somewhere. No. If you get taken somewhere and disappeared somewhere, it's over for you. That's what that means. What did the Most High say, paraphrasing? The New Jerusalem is going to be on earth. And he answered unto me and said, the interpretation of the vision shall I show thee, and I will open unto thee the thing that thou hast required, whereas thou hast spoken of them that are left behind. This is the interpretation. He that shall endure the peril in that time hath kept himself. They that be fallen into danger as such as have works and faith towards the Almighty. Know this therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead. There we go right there. Archangel Uriel just proved my point. I didn't even read forward yet, and I already knew that just by common wisdom. Because again, if New Jerusalem is going to be on earth, then where are y'all going? Let me read that one more time to get it clear, to get the point across, to get the point that this whole Christianity doctrine, y'all need to get out of it now. Y'all soul is on the line, bro. Stop playing with them. Verse 24. Know this therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead. This is the meaning of the vision, whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea. The same is he whom the Most High, the highest, hath kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creature, and he shall order them that are left behind. And whereas thou sawest that out of... I have to repeat that. I have to go back real quick, because that just, again, the word can sometimes cut like a two-edged sword. The same is he whom the Most High, the highest, hath kept a great season, which means that whoever that individual or that nation of people were, he kept them as the apple of his eye, which by his own self shall deliver his creature. What does that sound like? Doesn't that sound a lot like the Most High delivering Israel out the hands of the Egyptians, which by his own self shall deliver his creature, and he shall order them that are left behind. And whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came as a blast of wind, and fire and storm, and that he held neither sword nor any instrument of war, but that the rushing in of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is the interpretation. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. He shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen which I showed thee before. And then shall my Son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. But he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion, and Zion shall come and shall be showed to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands. And this, my son, shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor by the law, which is like unto fire. And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Osea the king, whom Salmanasar the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country, where never mankind dwelt, that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood, till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of 1.5 years. And the same region is called Arsareth. Then dwelt they there unto the latter time. And now, when they shall begin to come, the highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. Oh my, all praise, y'all. All praise. This is the second Exodus in second Esdras. This is it. This is what it's talking about in verse 47, when it says, the highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. Therefore sawest thou the multitude with peace. But those that be left behind of thy people are they that are found within my borders. Now when he destroyed the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he shall defend his people that remaineth, and then shall he show them great wonders. Then said I, O Lord that bearest rule, show me this. Wherefore have I seen the man coming up from the midst of the sea? And he said unto me, like as thou canst neither seek out nor know the things that are in the deep of the sea, even so can no man upon the earth see my son or those that be with him, but in the daytime. This is the interpretation of the dream which thou sawest, and whereby thou only art here lightened. Now let me repeat verse 52. And he said unto me, like as thou canst neither seek out nor know the things that are in the deep of the sea, even so can no man upon the earth see my son or those that be with him, but in the daytime. Let me say that again, but in the daytime. So when the Son of Man cracks the sky, it's going to be more than likely, well, it is going to be in the daytime, according to 2nd Esdras, chapter 14, verse 52. So that's another, that's another little tidbit for the righteous Israelites. These are tidbits you need to keep instilled in your mind. Remember these little things, you know what I'm saying? Remember that is a terrible thing to have an exodus during the Sabbath. That's in the Bible. That's biblical. Remember that the Son of Man will only come in the daytime. Remember these things. This is the interpretation of the dream which thou sawest, and whereby thou only art here lightened. For thou hast forsaken thine own way, and applying thy diligence unto my law, and sought it. Thy life hast thou ordered in wisdom, and hast called understanding thy mother. So every time y'all hear me call her, because again, mother wisdom is a feminine entity, a feminine energy. So every time I say mother wisdom, you can refer to 2nd Esdras chapter 13, verses 55. Thy life hast thou ordered in wisdom, and hast called understanding thy mother. What is thy understanding called? Thy mother. What is wisdom? Wisdom is understanding. What is understanding? Thy mother. Mother wisdom. And therefore have I showed thee the treasures of the highest. After other 3 days I will speak other things unto thee, and declare unto thee mighty and wondrous things. Then went I forth into the field, giving praise and thanks greatly unto the Most High, because of his wonders which he did in time, and because he governeth the same, and such things as fall in their seasons. And there I sat 3 days. All praise to the power of the Son of Man, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and mother, his beautiful, precious mother wisdom for this beautiful chapter. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of wisdom in this chapter that we didn't know otherwise, y'all. A lot of wisdom. For one, the Most High is going to have a second that's number 2. Number 1, those that are left behind are the ones that are blessed, not the ones that leave. The ones that leave are the ones cursed. Number 2, according to 2 Esdras chapter 13, there will be a second Exodus out of Egypt. And third, and probably most importantly, that the Son of Man will crack that sky in the daytime. All praise. Israel, keep your head up, keep your faith strong, and tomorrow we'll have another powerful, mighty chapter of 2 Esdras, which is chapter 14. All praise to the power of Israel. Israel, keep your head up and your faith strong in spiritual Jacob's trouble. Shalom.